education is everything. And I wouldn't even really say getting an education because that makes it sound like there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Life is all about education from the beginning all the way until you die.
The way I see educational inequality persistent in education itself is when a student is not having the same opportunity and access to resources in the school building compared with other students in that system or in the same school building.
Educational inequality exists all across America, and the studies and the data bear that out. And so what we are trying to do here in the state of Maryland, and particularly in Montgomery County, is look at our systems and make sure that every child has the resources to reach their fullest potential.
We are not at a level in this society where everyone has an equal opportunity.
It's incredibly important that all students have that access and opportunity.
Make sure that even if the students came in with unequal understanding and resources, that they still have the equal opportunity within your classroom to excel just as any of their classmates.
It's persistent at a lot of our schools here in Montgomery County, in the state, and in the nation. And that's our work as educators and as leaders of the school system to start changing that.
Here in the United States, we have had a sad history of institutional racism, and it is undeniable that those of certain skin tone, of a certain religion, of a certain gender, have benefited more than other people. And the way that we equalize the playing field moving forward is by trying to strip down that institutional racism that has existed. And affirmative action is one tool to try and lift everybody up.
Affirmative action is meant to help people who have had barriers placed before them in the past. It's not meant to favor one group over another. It's meant to try to make up for barriers that have held groups back.
It is not a zero-sum game in the United States when we think about affirmative action. What we're trying to do is open the doors to opportunity for everybody, because for far too long, the gates were closed.
To me, it's more of a socioeconomic impact. Does that impact certain groups more heavily? Yes.
We talk about educational inequality, but educational inequality is directly tied to income inequality. And there are some school systems in the United States where the level of a school is based on the land value that is around it.
We really are spending about the same, or we're actually spending a little bit more in some of the poorer communities to try to compensate.
That's why, for the sake of our children and our economy and America's future, we're going to have to do a better job educating every single one of our sons and daughters.
But to achieve this future, we must enrich the mind and the souls of every American child. Education is the civil rights issue of our time.
The president sets the tone, and if the president wants to ensure that every student, regardless of gender identity, regardless of race or religion, gets the best education possible, that tone is set from the top.
Well, James Madison once wrote that those people who mean to be their own governors must arm themselves with the power that knowledge gives. So if you want to be an effective democratic citizen of a democratic society, you got to fill yourself with knowledge of the arts and the sciences and history and English and everything about the world. Otherwise, you could be a sucker for somebody else.
And too many students, Black and brown students, students with special needs, students learning English, gifted students, students sitting in the back row in big classrooms, students who get overlooked, students who need those resources and support, are being robbed of the life opportunities because we have failed to invest in education in America.
We should break down school districts and not make sure that their ability to not, by definition, exclude minority neighborhoods. But the way to deal with this is to provide for the best education possible in every single school.
Thurgood Marshall's core belief was pretty simple, not complicated. He believed that it is, and I quote, "the right of all of our children, whatever their race, to an equal start in life and to an equal opportunity to reach their full potential as citizens." End of quote. I agree with what Thurgood Marshall said.